Hey, what's up? It is Paul from the Techno Funk Boy. We're going to talk kind of briefly here about the Dragonlance Lawsuit. And, I wasn't even planning to do a video this week. I normally try to record the videos early in the week, but I was not well over the weekend, and so was not going to be able to get it out. But Dragonlance hit the news, and I'm, kind of the Dragonlance guy, and so thought I needed to comment on it. For those who are not familiar with with my channel here, one of the things we do is I'm running a campaign of Dragonlance and converting it to 5th edition as I go, and so I kind of we've been doing chapter by chapter reviews of the original modules, kind of giving some ideas on how to play it if you are converting it to 5th edition, kind of giving some tips of what I've been doing, what's working for me, what's not working for me. And those have been a lot of fun to do. And I'll put a link to the playlist right up there. But yeah, so some kind of unfortunate news for this week. You've probably seen it, that Margaret, Weis, and Tracy Hickman have filed lawsuit against Wizards of the Coast over a new Dragonlance trilogy of novels that they say have been essentially blocked at this time. If you're not familiar with them, they are two people that are worth getting to know. They worked in the really early days of TSR, and Tracy Hickman in particular is probably my Dungeons and Dragons hero. He really did some amazing innovation with the game and advanced the game quite a bit while he was writing modules. He co-wrote the original Ravenloft module that introduced us to Strahd von Zarovich and was expanded for 5th edition into the Curse of Strahd. And in that game, he made the castle. As I understand it, the layout of the castle is the same one used in Curse of Strahd. He actually consulted on Curse of Strahd. He gave us in that original, actually right here, gave us in the original module the Taroka deck that would randomize the adventure for you. That these were really early innovations that he did. The big thing that they are known for is Dragonlance, because Tracy Hickman put together the idea for Dragonlance, the world, and really kind of created the first really big campaign where, before that, you would buy something with the dungeon, or you might buy a couple of books that were put together and have a campaign that way. But for the first time, you had a campaign that was spanning the entire world, that would go basically everywhere, and so he headed up that and just did some amazing innovations there. For Dragonlance, we got the introduction of Lord Soth, we got the introduction of the Kinder, and the introduction to Tinker Gnomes for the first time. And so and Raceland, the one of the truly great Dungeons and Dragon wizards. And every time I see like a list of the best D&D characters, the best D&D villains, Hickman's work is always represented there at least once or twice, and and you get kind of the same thing from R.A. Salvatore. He always has a couple of characters on there, and so his contribution and their contribution to Dungeons and Dragons were immense. After they published the Chronicles, Dragonlance Chronicles, which was based on that massive campaign, they moved to writing full time, and they did a lot of work with Dragonlands. So after quite a long hiatus, they are seeking to return to Dragonlands and write a new trilogy. Now, kind of in background of that, in the old days, TSR, or soon thereafter Wizards of the Coast, would publish novels based on Dungeons and Dragons adventures, or set in the Dungeons and Dragons world, and you get a lot of Dritz Jordan books that kind of are based in Faerun and all the events that are happening there. But that has stopped. But in more recent times, Wizards has been willing to license these characters out. And so we are getting like new Dritz novels, which is fantastic. But they're not published by Wizards. They're actually published by another publisher. But Wizards is licensing out the intellectual property because since like R.A. Salvatore created Dritz as a work for hire, and since Weis Hickman created these characters as work for hire, Wizards owns the intellectual property. Well, this is the same sort of agreement that Weis and Hickman have come to with Wizards, saying, "Hey, let's do another Dragonlance," and Wizards was agreeable. Wizards has been giving them feedback. They do have to approve anything that goes out because it is their world, and they're doing stuff in that world, and they, for all we know, they might be planning a Dragonlance campaign, and they don't want Weis Hickman contradicting what they're already working on in that case. And so they were moving forward. They had some changes for them to do. They did the changes. One book was completely approved and ready for press. My understanding is that the next one was written in rough draft form, just needed to be cleaned up, edited, any rewrites that are necessary. And that is when Wizards said, we're not approving anything else, and which effectively ends the project. And they had a publisher on board ready to publish all three of them, and that ends that relationship because this part of the contract is Wizards has to approve it. We've only gotten Weis Hickman's side of the story, and so I don't want to do a video on who's to blame here because we haven't heard Wizard's side of the story. The lawsuit seems very, very convincing to so far, but we don't have the other side, and so I don't want to do a video saying first of all that I understand all this stuff because I'm not a lawyer. I understand it, but I'm not a lawyer, and secondly, picking sides, or saying, "Oh, Wizards is going to pay." I don't know. This is probably something that they'll settle, or whatever. My main concern coming today is just to say that I think Dungeons and Dragons is better maintaining these relationships than destroying them. And the thing with lawsuits is, if this is settled out of court, well, that's fine. Presumably everybody would be reasonably happy with the result and they'll go their own way. But whatever they were bringing to the table in the Dragonlance universe is going to be lost. Except, unless we have that just real change of heart where they look at it and it's like, you know what, we really do want these novels. Let's move forward. And that's going to be my hope here. The other part of it is if we don't get the novels, then even if Wizards of the Coast were planning a Dragonlance campaign, I think that would be trash. For the simple reason of they come out like, hey, we're ready to profit off Dragonlance again, and the question from us is going to be, wait, so it's okay for you to do Dragonlance, but not Weis and Hickman? What would have been the problem with theirs? And And so, even if they were planning it, and I have no indication that they actually were planning a Dragonlance campaign, I think the chances of that being squished for a while are good. I think that if they were to look at a Dragonlance campaign, the chances of getting Tracy Hickman to consult on it again is good. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen is good. That's a real shame. You know, not only Hickman, and not only his wife Laura Hickman, not only Margaret Weis, but like, you know, all those trailblazers from the early days who were just thinking of stuff like, what if we do it like this? What if we do it like this? And infusing that, these are the people that made the game what it is today. It was their vision, it was their creativity that expanded the game so dramatically that, you know, that we get from those very, very simple, but still fun early modules to the kind of sprawling, interconnected storylines that we have today. These are people who have proven themselves over and over again as people of vision and creativity, and these are people who still want to, you know, still very willing to be involved, and you know, having like a Tracy Hickman, you know, being available to help is just a resource that I think makes the game better. I don't know exactly what he contributed to Curse of Strahd, you know, but his fingerprints are all over that game from the original game, and it makes it better. And so I hate to see those type of relationships go up in smoke. I hate to see Dragonlance, you know, these Dragonlance novels very possibly, even probably, just disappearing now. Not that I know that they'd be good. Not that I know, you know, they might be terrible. I don't know, but there's an opportunity here, you know, that it's like between all the stuff that's happened in the last few years, between Critical Role, Stranger Things, bringing attention to Dungeons & Dragons, getting people excited about these, like the podcast I'm on, you know, Dice and Dreary, you know, making this into, and so many others, making it into a show. These are things that drive the popularity of the game. I know of many people, and Dice and Dreary is not a huge show, but I know of many people who have started playing Dungeons and Dragons because of Dice and Dreary. And there's so many people, you know, like the people, you know, of Critical Role, of like Dice Dreary, like Margaret Weis, Tracy Hickman, that, you know, are saying, you know, it's like, hey, we want to add to this story. Just stay out of our way. That's a huge opportunity for Wizards. And it frustrates me that, you know, the relationship has gotten so bad that it's going to court now. The opportunity to tie in, you know, a new Dragonlance novel with you know, a possible campaign. Shoot, some smaller adventures from the, you know, on the website that, you know, these free adventures bring so many people into the game. The opportunities there are astounding. You know, you could turn it into an event so easily. You can turn it into excitement for yet another world so easily. And I would be all over that. You know, obviously I'm playing my Dragonlance campaign in 5th edition. And while mine is just like, okay, we're just translating the old books into new books, into kind of a new game, is not exactly what, you know, what might happen with a campaign rewrite. But like, you know, I've at times wondered, it's like, wow, what could be done? What could be done to expand this? And what's kind of frustrating is you have people who know how to do this because they did it before. It was not TSR Wizards of the Coast that made the 3rd edition Dragonlance book. It was Margaret Weis. It was her company that did it. And the more I look at that material of what they did to make this a 3rd edition game, the more impressed I am. You know, they expanded it, they tweaked it, they really breathed new life into the lore, and you know, these people have been at this for so long that again, it's just if I were in Wizard's shoes, these are resources that I would want to keep. And obviously Weis Hickman wanted to keep those that relationship open as well. They want to clearly they want to be writing in Dragonlance. It's I think their most popular stuff, and it's also it's just a really fun world to write in. So all that I'm saying is, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to comment on the lawsuit itself. There's a lot more detail in it in the lawsuit itself, but I really I didn't want to. I didn't. There's been plenty of videos going through kind of that material. What I wanted to do here was lament the loss of the possibility, and. In any case, it's not going to make me love Dragonlance any less, and we're going to keep going. We just ran another session last night that went really, really well, and so I'm going to have notes where in the live campaign, because I'm a few adventures behind in making the videos, but in the live campaign we're in the middle of Skullcap, which is not in the Chronicles. It is in the later books that fill in the gaps between the Chronicles. But yeah, this is it's a lot of fun. I love this world. I love the campaign, and I'm going to keep doing some videos on it. And so stay tuned for that. As for what's next, we're gonna be dealing with a lot of magic. The magic occurring here in the next few videos, the next few Dragonlance videos, including some updates on the Towers of High Sorcery, and as well as how I ran the Testify Sorcery, which has probably ended up being our single best session so far. It was a lot of fun, and so I'm going to tell you how we did that, and give you some ideas on that, and so hopefully you'll enjoy that. But I do appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time. Please do, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. That does help drive the algorithm for this to be recommended to others. We will catch you next time.